Okay, let's take this and turn a little bit so you can see in here what we're doing. And now we're going to break this bolt here loose and this bolt here. Once they break loose, they pretty much come out fairly simply. You don't want to lose your bolts. Now we're going to take our caliper and we're just going to bring it off to the side right now. Now I'm going to show you this here. These pistons did not push in all the way. You can see how they're still out just a little bit. So we will need to push these back in. So you know what, let's do this right now. The way we push those pads back in place there is you just take the, I hope you can see that okay, yep. All right, we'll put the brake pad in here like this. And we're going to put the other brake pad in here like this. Now you can use your old brake pads, but it's better off using the new ones because you only have to push it in a little bit. You won't have to push it in far. Let me get this set up and I'll explain to you what I'm doing. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're just pushing these pistons back into the bore. This tool here is just pushing the pistons back in nice and slow. You don't have to go really hard. You just turn it nice and slow and it pushes them in. And when they're pushed in as far as they can go, then you can take your brake pads out, take the tool off, and we'll continue. Now we're just going to take our caliper, take it off to the side just like this, and hang it off to the side just like that so it doesn't get in the way. Now we're going to take out these bolts here, this one and this one here. I am going to use the air gun just for the sake of time. In. We'll take this off and we'll come back to this in just a minute. The rotor comes off just like that. Now the area I was telling you about that need to be cleaned up, as you can see, it's extremely rusty in here. There's a lot of rust underneath everything inside here, so we are going to clean this off. I am going to use a disc like this to get in here and clean it off. But if you don't have a disc, you can get in here with emery cloth or whatever you have. All right, so let me clean this off. Once I get it cleaned off, then we'll come back. Okay, so just so you know, I did clean this off with the brake cleaner. We're going to put this on here like this. What I usually do is I'll screw a lug nut onto it to hold the rotor in place while you're working. Right? Okay, next thing we're going to do now is we're going to come to our mounting bracket. Now these are actually kind of rusty, so we're going to take these out. Sometimes they get pretty rusty. Right, now the reason you want to replace these hardware with new is you see how these are, let me show you. You see how these pieces here are bent in and that one is pretty straight. See? These are already done their job by pushing the brake pad out and they start to get destroyed after a while. Plus if you look up underneath here, there's one, and this one here is broken off. All right? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this hardware off. We just pull it, and it comes right off. Same thing here. Pull it, and it comes off. Now, these are usually pretty rusty underneath here. So what we're going to do is, you see this mounting surface right in here? You need to get in here with the file or sandpaper, emery cloth, whatever you have. You need to clean that off so that this is a nice clean surface inside here. So we're going to clean this off, and we're going to clean this off here as well, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so now after we've cleaned up that mounting bracket, we're just going to put a little bit of grease underneath where the new mounting bracket is going to mount, just like this. And now these you just put over the top, and you push them down, and you'll hear them snap in. Okay, all the way down there and down there. You got to bracket on, same way. Okay, just make sure your clips are popped in all the way down as far as they can go in here, so you're not going to be hitting into anything. All right, and then what we do is we'll take some grease as well and put grease everywhere that the brake pad is going to touch. You put a little bit of grease on it. All right, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take out these slide pins right here, and we're going to lubricate these slide pins as well. Now I'm going to get a rag and we're going to clean these off. As you know, this has brake cleaner on it already. Just a little bit of grease, just like that. And very important is that they have to go back into the same holes that they came out of and make sure it slides all the way in. And we'll do the same thing on that one. Clean it off. Put it back in there like that, and make sure it pushes all the way in, which it did. All right, now we're going to take our brake pads. I will point this out to you as well. The brake pads are two different kinds. Now they look exactly the same, but you'll notice that this one has the indicator on it, where this one does not have the indicator. And the pads themselves, you can see they're shaped a little bit differently, so you know that they have to go a certain way. All right. Now, this is the brake pad that came off, and as you can see, there's the indicator, and that's the same one we're going to put back on. And if you turn the shoe over, you'll notice that this was touching up against the back of the caliper itself, because you can see where the pistons were touching right here. All right, so this one we know is the inner one, and therefore this one is the outer. All right, now you can put the brake pad on here while you have this in your hand, or you could put it on in the vehicle. I'll try to do them here because it'll be a little bit easier here than trying to do it in the car. And that's how it goes, like that. Same thing here. You want to make sure that these clips are like that. And now they slide nice and freely in there. And we'll take this, we'll put it over the top like this, and then we'll squeeze these brake pads back together, like that. And then we're going to catch the bolts that we previously removed. Now these bolts, we're going to catch them both before we tighten anything up. We are going to look up the torque specs on these bolts because they do need to be torqued in. But for now, I'm just going to shoot it in with air until I can look it up. Hold your brake pads. All right, we will look it up and we will torque those down. But for now, we're just going to do it like this. We're going to take our caliper back off that we previously had hanging. And we're going to put a little bit of synthetic grease on every place that the brake pad is going to touch. Just like that. And here, and here, and here. Alright, now we'll put the caliper back on. Push our slide pin in so we can get the caliper over the top, just like that. You want to make sure that your brake line is not kinked as well. And again, we're going to tighten these up. You get them both caught by hand before you tighten anything. Okay. All right. So let's go over everything we did here. We made sure that the mounting surface underneath here was clean. We cleaned this all off so that it accommodated the new rotor. We put our mounting bracket back on. We lubricated the slide pins here and here. We installed our new mounting hardware here. We cleaned underneath there to make sure there was no rust. We lubricated every place that the brake pad is going to touch. We lubricated everywhere that the caliper is touching the brake pad, as well as on the pistons in here too. We tightened up those two 18mm bolts there and there, which we will torque properly. This is the 19mm that hold the caliper to the mounting bracket. We tightened those up as well. And that's it, we're all set. Okay, that's it, you're all set. All right, now we're going to put the wheels on. We did the other side already, so that it's all finished, it's ready to go. Before you drive your truck away, make sure you get in there and you pump that brake pedal up. It's going to go to the floor probably 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Pump it until that pedal is nice and firm on top, and then you'll be able to drive it. But make sure you pump it up, because that pedal is going to go to the floor, and it'll scare the heck out of you if you try to move the truck and you have no brakes. As always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.